If you want to be more productive or manage your time efficiently, then you need to learn about the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. The Pareto Principle dictates that in any given situation, 20% of the work or input will produce 80% of the results or output. The law was named after an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto. He discovered this economic rule while tending to his home garden. What he noticed was that 20% of the pea pods generated 80% of the big healthy peas. This observation led to him investigating whether this ratio held true in other areas, like money. He quickly discovered that in Italy, 80% of the land was owned by just 20% of the population. This rule has since been tested and proven true in many different areas. We can even observe this concept play out in our everyday lives. For example, 80% of commuters travel during 20% of the day. 20% of what you do in your business brings in 80% of the income. 20% of your social media posts may bring in 80% of your views and comments. And you probably only wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. You can even take this YouTube channel. 20% of my videos generate 80% of my views and subscribers. The Pareto Principle shows up all of the time. And although not always a perfect 80-20 split, the rule still holds true. The majority of outcomes come from the minority of causes, and vice versa, as the minority of outcomes come from the majority of causes. Knowing that this principle holds true in varying degrees for all things, you can start putting it to work in your daily life. Now, obviously, you need to use this newfound knowledge with caution. Knowing that 80% of your pleasure in life comes from 20% of the things you do doesn't necessarily mean you can quit your job or stop visiting your mother-in-law. Though you could look at friendships to see who deserves 80% of your free time. For example, in your personal life, you may look at what brings you the most pleasure and decide to outsource chores to get more of your free time back, such as hiring someone to cut the grass or a cleaner for the house. Or you could trade chores and tasks you find more pleasurable that others don't, thereby improving the time spent if you can't completely reclaim it. This type of reorganizing of your personal life can bring some big revelations. However, the best results can be achieved when it comes to work or business. Many of us confuse being busy with being productive. But if working hard equated to more money, then there would be many more millionaires in the world. So if you haven't actively applied the 80-20 rule to your work, either intentionally or unintentionally, then chances are you fall into the busy group, not the productive one. Think of any of the popular buzz terms like work smarter, not harder, or measure your progress, not the time you're working. These all apply or can be achieved by implementing the 80-20 principle. Let's say that you start a business and your goal was to get as many clients as possible. So you work away at it and you now have 10 paying clients, which is awesome. But now you can't take on any more work due to the overwhelming workload, nor can you afford to hire someone else to pick up the slack. In this situation, you may just think that you need to work longer hours or pay yourself less so that you can hire someone to help. But if you use the 80-20 rule to evaluate your business first, you may learn the following: that 80% of your income comes from 20% of your clients, that 80% of the workload is because of 20% of the clients, and that 80% of the problems come from 20% of the clients. Looking at this, you could decide to investigate further, asking questions like, does the 80% of work and problems match the 20% of clients who pay the most? If you then discover that 80% of the problems and work come from the clients paying just 20% of your income, then your solution is to ditch those clients and find better ones. The same could be done in your job. You may be able to see what areas or tasks you're wasting your time on. For example, if you're in a sales job and 80% of your time is spent finding leads to call, then you could propose to your boss that hiring someone to find the leads for you to call would increase profits for them as well as commissions for you. It would be a win-win situation. So that's the 80-20 rule. You can apply it to just about any area of your life. Of course, it doesn't always mean that you can do something about it, but knowledge is power and it encourages you to work smarter, not harder. So put it to the test and start optimizing your life. That's it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe for more money, mindset, and motivation. Until next time.